Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we're going to be doing another Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Prestige Class description. And today, from the Complete Warrior, we are going to be talking about the Ronin. So, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about what the Ronin is. We're going to talk about what it takes to become a Ronin. We're going to talk about what the Ronin gets. And finally, we're going to talk about how good they are and how they might be used in a build. So let's get started. So Ronin is typically a former samurai, sometimes just another kind of warrior, but usually samurai that exiled their past, and they were exiled in their past due to some form of dishonor that they committed, and that caused them to become a Ronin, because they lost their honor, but they still continued in their way of the swordsmanship despite their past dishonor. That's basically what they are. It's a traditional Japanese thing, I believe. It is one that's particularly good for an Asian type of campaign. So yeah, now at least thematically, but they could always just be a wanderer from a distant land. Anyways, let's talk about what it takes to get in. So the Ronin, it requires you to be non-lawful, fairly basic. That's pretty easy and actually works with a lot of the builds that go good with this anyways. +6 base attack bonus, a little heavy but not too bad. Exotic weapon proficiency, bastard sword, okay, not terrible. And must have fled or been exiled from the service of a feudal lord, commonly for disobeying orders, displaying rudeness or cowardice at a criminal juncture, or failing in a crucial task. So, okay, you got to have that dishonor, and it can vary a bit. So that's what the Ronin requires. Let's talk about what they get. So first off, D10 hit dice, that's good. Full base attack bonus, great. Good fortitude save, bad reflex and will save. Pretty solid for a martial build so far. They also get Infamy, so this one's bad, and there's no way around it. If you're in this prestige class, you have this. Anytime an authority figure knows who you are, like they know about the dishonor that you had in the past, they're going to start out one category lower in terms of how much they like you. So that's not great. If they were indifferent, now they're going to be unfriendly. If they're unfriendly, they might end up hostile. Like, you could end up with a problem. If they're friendly, now they're just indifferent. And you also take a -4 circumstance penalty on any charisma check that you take. On any check you have relating that dealing with that person. So it's harder to improve their attitude to be better. So that's a bit of an issue. But it is what it is. So that's the first thing they get. Second off, they get sneak attack at first level, and they get a 1/3 every 3-level progression. So about 3/4 as good as a rogue in terms of sneak attack. So not terrible, and they get started at first level, so that's actually makes it pretty solid. You get like 46 by the time you finish these 10 levels, which isn't bad. That's only one less than a rogue would get in 10 levels, so not terrible. Another thing they get is Bonsai Charge. This one's pretty nice. When they charge, they're able to they're able to take they're able to increase their attack roll. So they take not their attack roll, their damage. So what they do is when they charge, they're taking a whatever penalty they take on their AC. Typically it's a -2, but it can be as high. They can increase it up to their base attack bonus, and they'll get that as a bonus to their damage, similar to how power attack works. Which is what's cool about it is the -2 normal penalty for charging actually counts towards your towards your damage bonus. So that's really nice. Now you can't use this to take a less of a penalty for charging, but basically anytime you charge, you get at least an extra 2 damage, even if you don't want to like take any additional penalties, like the -2 for the normal penalties. You're taking that anyways. You might as well get your +2 damage with it. So that's kind of nice. And if you take a lot more, it can be really, really good. You can, especially if you combine that with power attack. So we'll get back to that in a sec when we talk about how good this is. Anyways, bonus feats. At 5th and 9th level, you get a bonus feat. Most of them are either ranged or mounted, which isn't typically what I would use with this build, but this will give you some options so that you're not stuck with just using a sword. So that's kind of nice to get a couple of feats that help give you some versatility. Yeah, and that's literally all. That's not quite all they get. So they also get some stuff for former samurai. So if you had the samurai class before this, you'll regain a number of class features equal to how many samurai levels. So if you had 1 to 5th, but if you're between a 1st and 5th level samurai, X samurai, because you're definitely X samurai, since samurai require lawful and these can't be lawful. Basically, you'd gain certain stuff back. 6th through 10th, you're going to gain even more stuff back. And if you're 11th or higher, you can actually start trading samurai levels for Ronin levels to level up in this class immediately. You could actually immediately become 10th level in this if you're over 10th level in samurai. So that's kind of cool. It's very similar to how Blackguard works on that one. Except for, unlike with Blackguard, which is tied to the Blackguard level, this one's tied to the samurai level itself. So the stronger of a samurai you are, the more samurai stuff you keep. And you don't actually gain extra stuff, you just keep your old stuff. So it's similar, but noticeably very different from what Blackguards get with ex-paladins. So yeah, let's talk about how good they are. Well, first off, the whole thing, the Bushido Charge is, Bonsai Charge is quite nice. The fact that it stacks with power attack's really, really good. You can get some serious bonuses on damage and everything with this. The fact that it requires a long bastard sword to get in can be a bit of an issue, but I could see it working pretty well on something like the Exotic Weapon Master, where you can get some pretty nice bonuses with that, and just tie in for a whole bunch of extra damage, particularly if you like throw in Shock Trooper or something to get like massive damage. And the fact that this requires non-lawful, it would make it work tie well with like barbarian type builds too, which is interesting to try and think of this with the barbarian. Thematically it doesn't work great, but it works great rules wise, and it'd be pretty powerful on a barbarian type build. The bonus feats are kind of nice. You can throw and get some range stuff for when you're not so when things are out of melee range. Can be nice to have a bow. It's handy. Sneak attack is pretty nice. Like, it's almost as good as a rogue's. So yeah, if you can find some way to reliably get sneak attack, maybe something that involves like using your allies to get flanking bonuses, can be quite good. Even without the sneak attack, it's still decent. Like, even just for Bonsai Charge, it's worth a 2-level dip. But if you keep going, you're mostly doing it for sneak attack at that point, because that's the one thing that's actually worth it. The sneak attack and the good base attack bonus. The bonus feats they're all right, but they don't serve your main focus. But they're solid. All in all, Ronin's pretty dang good. It could work really, really good on some certain builds like Exotic Weapon Master. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm curious to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more D&D 3.5 content, because I do one of these on every class, race, and prestige class in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. Anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you